Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Good morning. It is 1:06 a.m. and we are going to do episode number 73 for our NeoFly career mode here. Flying in the Cessna CJ4. We're going to go ahead, tune to traffic here. Nope, we already got clearance for takeoff, so we are good to go there. So we're going to go ahead and reduce that and do just a couple of checks here. Exterior view looks good. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to put on our passenger safety and seat belts to get ready for takeoff here. We're going to turn on our taxi lights. What is this? Oh, that's pulsing lights. Reconnaissance lights. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and turn that on there. So we're good to go. I'm going to adjust that. And our altitude will go to... we'll go to about 3,100 feet. So appreciate you tuning in, appreciate the love and support as always. We got a live weather, live time flight here, and we're going to be departing from Saranac, New York, and headed over to I believe Brunswick. Yeah, Brunswick, Maine. So we're southern part of Maine here, just above Massachusetts, I believe. So we will go ahead and release our parking brake, get rid of our flaps here. 18% trim is okay for the Cessna. We'll go ahead and get liftoff here. So once again, guys, we got a passenger mission here in our NeoFly career mode. Update from yesterday, we have 8.1 million. Speed check, we got enough for liftoff. Go ahead and
pilot from dispatch, fly safe. These
head
customers
on out
don't
here.
like excitement.
Altitude.
Alright, so we got a VIP mission, I believe. Alright, we are already up to 3,100 feet. Yep, they did not like that. Go ahead and head on over to the east. Yeah, we don't even have landing gear up, and we're maxing out on speed. Alright, maybe when we get a little bit closer to the airport, or to those lights here, we got the State Police Department, New York, 86 Raybrook. ahead and get a thumbnail going here. Actually, we'll probably just wait until we get to a runway. I think that's a better thumbnail. So let's see, we are just to the right. Go ahead and open up nav map here, see if we can get a little closer look at Brunswick. But in the meantime, we are climbing to 6,300 feet. We're at 4,300 at the moment. Going to adjust some stuff here on my end. I'll be going to our channel. We'll click on live, get rid of the volume. We should be good here. So Brunswick, Maine here. Nighttime flight, 5,200 feet and climbing.
Altitude.
At 206 knots for the airspeed, but we're going to be leveling off here, so I'm going to probably reduce our engine output to about 62%, I believe, once we level off here. Got about 600 feet to go here. So, a little cloudy weather here, I think. It's clearing up a little bit. Maybe we just got some spotty clouds. There's the level off. Almost. We're at 62. We're gonna watch our speed right here because it's gonna be creeping up here once we level off. Probably turn on a little cabin lighting. So altitude holding here. Speed's gonna creep up. We're gonna reduce our throttle down to about 60. There you go, 62%. Looking good, ladies and gentlemen. That was Camille finishing her safety. Everybody's got the thumbs up. We'll go ahead and release our seatbelt and safety lights for the passengers. And we'll go ahead and get some drink distribution going to increase the satisfaction of the VIP. So, departing from Saranac, New York, headed over to Brunswick, Maine, southern part of Maine. Let's see if we can pull up our map here. So this is, we're going to be crossing over This Town Farm Bay from New York State entering into Vermont. Probably get rid of this whole measurement. We're going to be passing over the White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. So we're going to be watching our elevation here because I'm pretty sure that that's pretty high. And we're going to be doing this in the dark. A little bit of traffic out there. Let's see what runway we're landing in here to figure out what side of the line that we need to be on. So base and final, we're landing in runway number 1, which is coming in from south to north. So we're going to have to be on the opposite end here. So we'll go ahead and adjust our heading here. Just a few clicks so that we can get over to the opposite side of the flight path. Alright, and in the meantime, let's go ahead and check up on our pilots here. So we got Hurricane. Pilots. Alright, so Hurricane, if we click on them, their estimated time of arrival here, looks like they're flying to Virginia, is 2:08 a.m. It's currently 1:18, and Snoot is flying a VIP mission, estimated time of arrival 1:57. So I think we're going to be landing before them, but nonetheless we are sitting at 8.1 million as we are headed over to KBXM, which is the Brunswick Executive Airport in Brunswick, Maine. Let's see if we can find Brunswick on the map. Here it is. So this is going to be our destination here. This is Brunswick Executive Airport, so we actually found it. So we're going to be landing in runway number 01. Oh, there is a right. Well, this is one right. This one looks like it's X'd out. So this is going to be our airport here. A possible taxi over here, but that looks like, yeah, that's, so we're going to be exiting to the left here. This looks like the parking over there. Oh, we had a tracker on the plane. So we're going to be flying just north of Portland. If we enter in a measurement here, this is about 6 miles out. where we want to be to line up to the runway. Usually a little bit longer on the Cessna CJ4, just to kind of give us some length to line up to the runway. But this is a lighted runway, so it should be good as far as an early 1 a.m. flight here. Go ahead and view the flight. KBXM, nice. So we got the full flight here. This is our flight log. We flew from CPU6, which was over in Canada. We flew over to Saranac, New York, and then we're departing from Saranac, New York over to Brunswick. Don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and view this. Yeah, departure time. It looks like it's going to be about an hour flight. We're looking at 206 nautical miles. And the wind is 18 knots going from right to left here. So we got a cross breeze. Pretty hefty. Go ahead and close that. It should be good. Remove some measurements on our map here so we don't overcrowd it. Would love to figure out how to get nav maps working again so that we can get a little more information as to our airport. Might work on that after this flight. Alright, we did cross over. We'll adjust our heading here just a little more to get a little more lined up. We got Skyview Acres coming up in about 11 nautical miles. But Brunswick Airport, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So Boston Center for ATC. We are looking at the elevation is only 74 feet, but we do have to cross over some mountains in order to get there over in Vermont and New Hampshire. So it's about 2 miles southeast of Brunswick. It's open to the public. It is a lighted runway. Here's our sky vector chart, I believe. So there's Brunswick. We got the airport diagram here. I don't think I want to download it, but alright. I was hoping to see something a little more than that, but that's alright. Here's a real life aerial view of the runway. I think we're going to be flying in from this side here. So we are going this way. I think this is runway number 1. Airport, looking for the length of the runway. We got our CCAF, Unicom, radio. There is no control tower, so we're just going to be announcing our landing. So we'll pick our runway of runway number 1. I'm surprised this doesn't show you the length of the runway. Oh, here we go. So 8,000 feet. That's a long runway. 200 feet wide. Runway 1 left. Traffic pattern is right. That's an interesting traffic pattern. Usually you're going left. But we will see about the wind though. It's going to be semi-concerning here. It's actually rising. It was 18 and is now 20 knots. So it's a pretty decent wind there. And it looks like we might actually be going downwind, which makes it even worse. Alright, we're coming up to Newbury. I think we are in Vermont. And then we're going to go into New Hampshire, where we'll fly over the White Mountain National Forest. Go ahead and contact ATC.
Boston Center Cessna November 11361 is type Cessna C25C 4 miles northeast of Victor Tango, tree 16,300 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna November 11361 Boston Center. Squawk 7205.
Squawk 7205 Cessna, tree 61.
Cessna Tree 61 radar contact 6 miles northeast of Victor Tango. Tree 16,300 feet, altimeter 29er. 9er 6.
Roger, Cessna Tree 61.
Alright, so that altimeter 29.96, that is in inches. So we're going to find out the conversion here. In millibars. So 2996 is, we'll say 1014. We're sitting at 1013, so we're just going to go ahead and do one click up. Coming up to Dean Memorial here in about 10 nautical miles. We're going to be crossing over Interstate 93 here. At some nice skies here, partly cloudy. We're doing live time, live weather. It's 1:32 a.m. and we got a speed check at 206. Engines sitting at 62% with 42% fuel left. Trim is setting good. Flaps are down, or flaps are level at 0%, and our landing gear is up. Officially crossing over Interstate 91, just east of Newberry. Woodville is right up there, and I think we're still in Vermont. I think we're actually crossing over the Connecticut River is actually right here, zigzagging somewhere. I'm gonna guess right here. And that is the New Hampshire border, so we are now over into New Hampshire. Coming up to Black Mountain and the Black Mountain State Forest here. So elevation looks good at 6,300 feet. At least for now. It does seem on our map here that this ridge right here which is the, let's see if we can get a peek here, Loon Mountain Resort. So Loon Mountain, or this Flume George, or no, here we go. Yeah, Mount Flume, Mount Liberty, all of these are going to have a little bit higher peaks. So we're going to pay attention to the exterior here. Hopefully we can see enough. I think we're sitting pretty good there. I don't think those peaks are that high. That's the thing that I miss about our nav map here. It used to give us what the elevation was on those mountains, that it is not at the moment. So we'll see about fixing that either this weekend or next, or sometime in between. Oh goodness, I am on my first cup of coffee here. I might actually go ahead and lay back down right after this flight. We'll see when it ends. We took off at about 1:06. Let's see what we can do. So we're landing in, what was the airport here? KBXM. And we're departing from KSLK. Landing in runway number 1. Alright, we got a little bit of a adjustment here to our nav map. We can actually find the airport, which is good, using the old 2020 data. Which here you can actually see the elevation now. So the peak here is going to be, ground level is 1,429. And right here at the peak is about 3,100 feet above sea level, so not too shabby. We definitely got clearance at sitting at 6,300 feet. And this gives me a good indication as to how long we have left to go here. So we are sitting at about 73 nautical miles away from the airport and 65 nautical miles from the top of our descent. So
Cessna CJ4, contact approach on 119er. 75. Good day.
right on cue, we're getting handed off here.
119er. 75 for Cessna CJ4.
pull up our NeoFly here. Take a look at our passengers. They're looking like they want a drink. Speaking of which, we gotta either refill our coffee or make a decision to lay back down. So we'll see what we're gonna do. But we got Camille out there with the drink distribution. Everything's looking pretty good here. Our pilots, 158 for Snoop for estimated time of arrival. She's still looking good. Hurricane's at 208 still. Headed over to Virginia as we are headed over here to the bottom part of Maine, just north of Boston. So we're gonna hop in the car. We're coming up to Eastern Slopes Regional Airport. And we're sitting at 59 nautical miles to go here, so not too bad here. Aircraft, we're gonna go ahead and open CJ4 working title. So we got about 10 minutes left here. So nav maps does seem to be like the scenery for 2024 is empty, and the 2023 or 2020 version is 198 days old. So we're going to try to see what we can do about updating this. And getting that going. But in the meantime, it doesn't seem too bad. We are coming up to Sebago Lake. No rain in the forecast, that's good. Alright, there's the lake off in the distance on our map there. ATC check is still broken. So how's our wind speed looking? Did it get any better? Nope, we're still climbing. We were at 18. We checked it. It rose up to 20. Now it's sitting at 28 knots. So super strong wind here. Not looking too promising. It's gonna be a cross breeze from left to right on our landing. So we're gonna have to aim a little bit to the left. Alright, we got 44 miles to the airport, about 8 minutes out. So with that, we're going to increase our speed here just a touch. Or actually, no, we're going to decrease it. Or no, increase is good. And then we're going to reduce our elevation down here because I think we are safe to drop down to 3,900 feet. We're going to hit FLC. Now we're going to decrease our speed. Nose will dip down. And our altitude is going to drop. Looks like we're coming up to Frog Island. I believe that was our flight attendant Camille finished with the drink distribution. Everybody's looking good at 100%. Crossing over 5,200 on our way to 3,900 feet. Sebago Lake Basin and Frog Island. Getting ready to cross over 4,400. It's a nice view there. Maybe we'll go ahead and take a thumbnail for this. Go a couple of clicks here to the left. We're going to be crossing over Interstate 95. Coming up here by Gray. Are we in Maine at this point? I don't know. Pilot not knowing what state he's flying over. Okay. Yeah, we're in Maine now. You can tell by all these waypoints, 24 ME. So we are in Maine. All right, we're 17 nautical miles out from the top of our descent. Coming up to Eagle Field here. We're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to drop our landing gear and get in preparation for our landing on runway number 1 in Brunswick, Maine. So I hope everybody enjoyed the flight here. We're within the white arc, so we're able to drop our landing gear and extend our flaps, but we'll hold off on the flaps momentarily. until we get our speed regulated here. So our trim dropped down to dropped up to 14% here. So we're going to increase our throttle just a touch. That will decrease that. It's going to be a little bit of a lag. Trim is dropping down to single digits. 1 second. There you go, 9%. Speed's at 83, still looks good. 84, we're going to keep an eye on it. Trim's at 8%. 13 is really a decent trim, I think. We don't want to go too much. We don't want to get out of the white arc, which is 200. Good. Let's check ATC here, see if we can tune into our tower. Oh, there was no tower at this airport, but we would want to at least go over the radio and announce our intentions. Let's see when we can do that. All right, 9 miles out from top of our descent here. We're going to drop down our elevation a little more.
Altitude.
We're going to extend 15 degrees of flaps. We're going to turn on the seatbelt. Safety lights for our passengers. Speed's at 189. Passing Freeport off there to our left. Landing gear is red.
Altitude.
Interesting enough, not a good sign. Let's try to extend our landing gear again, see if we can get some green lights going. I wonder if we have a malfunction on our landing gear. I hope not. We are going to
Autopilot.
turn off our autopilot. Alright, landing gear looks to be down. We just don't have the green lights, which is a bit of a concern here. We'll see how this landing goes. There's our airport, the Brunswick Executive Airport. Runway is lit up for us. Still no communication. pass off here just to the right a little bit more. We're about 5 miles out. Speed's at 135. We're going to increase our throttle just a touch. Elevation sits at about 1500. And once again, the wind is going to be a factor. It did drop down. We're only down to 2 knots here, so actually it won't be a factor. Wind was just heavy while we were up in the air. So we're going to take the runway here off to the right. For a nice landing here.
Well, you've landed. We'll send maintenance to check the gear after you park.
Alright, a little bit of a skip.
Taxi to parking and shut down your engine.
There we go. We got wheels on the ground. Hard landing for sure, especially when the landing gear was red to begin with. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off here. Head on over to our tower. We'll announce our parking. Spin around to the back of the building, I guess. Ah, we can go right over here. Alright. Creep up here just a touch more and stop. We'll set our parking brake and we will go ahead and hit our flaps here, shut our engine down.
Transporter, you can open the doors and begin the disembarkation.
So we'll call it a day here. So we're in Brunswick, Maine. Hope everybody enjoyed their flight. Hope everybody enjoys their Sunday afternoon here. It is 2:01 a.m., 2:02 now. So a little bit of a hour-long flight. And we'll see what we can do with this. Maybe a sunrise flight north.
Transporter, all the passengers have disembarked. Good job. See you soon.
Alright, so we're good to go there. We'll end this flight. Appreciate you tuning in once again, guys, and we will see you in just a few hours.